This episode of the Coarse Grind Podcast has been brought to you by Central Sports and Graphics Incorporated, family-owned and operated screen printing and embroidery business located in a historic storefront on Old Berwick Road in the heart of Espy. They've been doing screen printing for over 20 years. They have high-quality product at a low price. Be sure to check them out. Central Sports and Graphics Incorporated, 570-784-1212. Now, on to the show.
Hi, it's Stephanie Smart from Top Chef Season 17 All-Stars. You're listening to Shawn Rosler on the Coarse Grind Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Episode number 139 of the Coarse Grind Podcast. With you as always this evening, host, creator Shawn Rosler. How the hell is everyone doing this evening? You know, in the age of COVID, specifically with regards to the podcast, I've been doing a lot of revisiting with people, with folks from Top Chef, with folks from the industry, just to kind of get a feel for where things are at in the restaurant industry. But there's another aspect of COVID that I think feeds into eating, see what I did there, feeding and eating, and is more important now than ever. I think it's safe to say that we can, in this day and age, let ourselves go just a little bit. And, you know, a lot of times, hopefully, it's that partner, it's that spouse, it's that husband, wife, or whomever, and whatever you call them, who give you a gentle reminder, a gentle nudge, a gentle suggestion. Hey, maybe the treadmill's a better idea than the hoagie, or something like that. To that end, it has inspired me to revisit with who I might consider to be one of my, if not my favorite guest ever. I'm not just saying that because I'd sleep on the couch otherwise. I truly do mean that. And I bring her to the forefront because not only do I want to revisit with her and see how things are going, but my partner, my wife, my spouse, Greta Rosler, has some pretty cool new stuff going on. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, everyone in between, my guest this evening, who's right upstairs from me, so it's not awkward at all, Greta Rosler. How's it going, dear?
Hi. Hello.
Hi. Hello. So for those of you out there who have not listened to episode 8, which is likely most of you, that's a long time. That's 5 years ago. We were last on the mic, honey. You realize that, right?
Wow.
Yeah. So it's been a while, and obviously a lot happens, and a lot happens, a lot has happened in just the past couple months alone. And I'm not just talking about COVID. I'm talking about you and your brand new, not really brand new anymore, it's, kind of established now, but your new concept of Real Mom Wellness, which I want to get into in just a little bit. But for those of you who weren't cool enough to be here 5 years ago, I want to give my dear wife a little bit of a chance to reintroduce herself to the crowd. So, Greta, in kind of a condensed format, can you tell the listeners a little bit about where and what you grew up eating?
Okay, so I grew up eating, my mom is a really good cook, and she had, many signature dishes that she would make for us. Some were more traditional and or convenience oriented, like, beef noodle casserole and things like that. But other things then she made, which were just spectacular, were like her succotash and her broiled chicken wings with no sauce, just salt and pepper. And I'm trying to remember what I would have said the first time around, but some of it was influenced by our Pennsylvania Dutch heritage and upbringing in Lancaster County. Some of it was just her intuition and knowing how to cook. And so I grew up eating generally really, really well. I was really fortunate.
Yeah, so it's safe to say Mom or Grandpam or Pammy, as I know her, was a culinary influence. Was she the only one? Do you think there were others who kind of influenced you to lean a bit towards food as more than just a task?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Well, I have, as we all do, vivid memories of eating with both of my grandmothers, and both of them were distinctively different. But my one grandmother was very kind of like home style, traditional, throw the Crisco in the pan and fry up the egg or whatever. And that stands out to me as really teaching me about the balance of fat and salt and flavor. Mm-hmm. Even when excessive, it taught me about the balance. And then my other grandparents, I vividly remember, I didn't eat with them quite as much, but I do remember, going to the very large farmers market with them, very notable in the Lancaster County area. And I just remember going there and getting like fresh vegetables and fresh fruits and stuff and carrying them around with my grandfather or my grandmother and being really kind of that I was really impressionable or that really impressed upon me, like the idea that, I can't wait till I'm a grown up and I can come here and pick out these things for myself.
Right. So that's an important, point to point out there, that from a young age, obviously you saw food in more than just a single colored light. You saw it multifaceted and you saw many layers to it. But as I know intimately, and we've learned together, like food can be so much more. When was it that you really realized how deeply meaningful food is?
I think I really realized that when I started learning how to cook myself. Mm-hmm. So I didn't really ever know how to cook until that one time I made you that god-awful African pumpkin peanut soup.
All right, big time out. We're going to tell a story. Because she'll steamroll my ass if I let it go. We're never going to get back to it, so we're going to get back to this now. We're in an apartment. We're in our first apartment together. And it was a spectacular apartment. Like, honestly, as first apartments go, it was pretty amazing. And I forget if you prefaced it for me or I just came in to see it. But it wasn't good. It wasn't good. I'm not going to lie. It wasn't good. This was early on. This was when you were still nervous about bones and fish and that kind of stuff.
Bones and fish. Yeah, I don't really know. I don't know where I came up with the recipe. I don't know why I would have ever thought it was a good idea.
But it was pumpkin, peanuts, wasn't there?
It had a lot of like African undertones, which that would have been fine, but you need to know how to cook to blend those flavors.
Yeah, you can't. You can't be a petite little German girl swinging the African food hammer. Like it just. Yeah. I don't know that it married up. See what they did? We're married.
I didn't know anything about like balancing like the spices and like any of that. So where I got the idea, I don't know, but it was around that time when I started like seeing recipes, and it's so interesting. I look back, recently I went through like this whole thing of cleaning out all our recipes, and I look back at the recipes I used to save, and I'm like, what the hell was I thinking? Like, I don't need a recipe to put salt and pepper on chicken. Like, I don't need a recipe to throw some wine in a pot and braise a piece of meat. Like, why would I have saved recipes for that? But it was really when I started learning to cook and started to like add layers of complexity to recipes, and then realizing that when you make something for someone that is either unexpected, unlike the pumpkin soup, like in a good way, unexpected.
Yeah, I was going to say that was unexpected.
If you make something for someone that is unexpectedly amazing because of the layers of flavors and the delicate balance of acid and starch and oil and spice and salt and all those things, that's when I started really realizing that I loved it. I loved to get the reaction, and not just the reaction. I love to do that for someone, like give them that experience.
Yeah, and we've had quite the opportunity, to do so, and we do that a lot. And I think in our tribe, in our circle, I think we are known as those people, who do that. The analogy I've heard used and I like to use is that Greta and I both have stage experience, and if you hold on to the script for too long, it becomes awkward. You have to put the script down. You have to be in the scene, and that's kind of how cooking from the soul transcends cooking from the page. And I think to your point, honey, that's exactly where your cooking went to. As soon as you started like cutting those away and feeling that confidence, which now it's like I have to knock and know the password to get into my own kitchen.
Oh, stop it.
It's true. It's true. So, I mean, that's where we're at. And so, food at its very core holds a very, very, very important place in our home, naturally. But food for you has also proven difficult at times. And I'm wondering, as we transition into, really what we're going to talk about, if you could share some of that, how food has proven difficult to you at times.
Yeah. Well, so since I was very young, there have been foods that I eat and that immediately give me some pretty intense distress and symptoms that are just like not compatible with going about your normal life. And I can remember that from this small age of probably 7 or 8, that I would eat certain foods and have this very what I now know is considered like a colicky bellyache. Mm-hmm. And I've dealt with that on and off my whole life, and just really trying to eliminate foods or avoid foods that I know do that. So yeah, I've had this kind of weird relationship where I love food, and there's a lot of things that I feel like I have to avoid or can't eat.
Sure. And again, going on 20 years soon, dear, I've seen it come, I've seen it go, I've seen it change, I've seen it not. And it's a struggle that I personally, I had never really seen before, but now through understanding more and more about gut health and other things like that, it really seems like it's way more common than I think anyone's given credit to it for. Or are we coming into an age maybe of more heightened awareness?
Well, honestly, I'm just going to say, because you're my husband, I think you just said the same thing twice.
That's I did. Don't worry. Don't worry. Other guests shit on me too, so it's fine. You can.
So here's the thing. For me, like as a nurse, I understand a lot of the science behind health problems and disease state and things like that. And so there were a lot of things that could be explained over time, right? Oh, you have a bad gallbladder, Greta. You need to have that taken out. Well, yeah, that makes sense. I had the symptoms of a bad gallbladder, like very, very clearly. I won't go into grotesque details. Nobody wants that. We're talking about food. Mm. But I had the symptoms of bad gallbladder, take it out. Guess what? I'm still sick. I still have a problem. Mm-hmm. I have the same food intolerances, no matter the gallbladder or not. I treat acid reflux. I still have food intolerances. I go to the doctor. They say, well, it's just a matter of you just need to lose weight. You just need to count your calories. I say to them, I have blood sugar problems that I can't quite manage, and nor can I figure it out because I'm not a diabetic. Mm-hmm. Like, I would check my blood sugar and have these incredibly low lows when I had eaten a really pretty balanced diet. Yeah. So after years, now I'm almost 40. Yes, there I said it. Happy birthday to me.
This month.
After all these years of having really good, well-intended medical professionals, give me direction in ways that, didn't really lead to resolve, both in terms of my ability to eat foods and enjoy them. Mm-hmm. And we're not talking about I wanted to eat a bunch of cheeseburgers and that gave me a bellyache. No, I'm fine with cheeseburgers. I'm talking about healthy foods. I want to eat a pineapple and I'm doubled over for a day and a half.
And real quick, I just want to interject. You said, well-intentioned providers. Yes, I think some of them are, but I think some of them are just into the turnstile medicine aspect, that they want to give you a pill and get you out.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I think that they want to, most traditional physicians have been taught traditional medicine. And so the idea, as, over the past many years, maybe I'll say in the past 3 or 5 years, really maybe the past 2 or 3 years, the concept of gut imbalance, and you hear the word microbiome, and you hear all these things, has really been kind of ringing in my ear. And so Shawn knows, over the past year or two, I've been on, a mission to try to figure out, okay, is this my issue? Why I can't tolerate certain foods, why I have, whatever is going on with me. And nobody will know, I went to a GI doctor and they said, no, you just need to eat 50 grams of carbs or less every day for the rest of your life and you'll be fine. And I'm like, well, that'll help you lose weight and then everything will feel better. Well, okay, that's not sustainable. If you try to eat 50 grams or less of carbs a day, like that is not sustainable for every day for the rest of your life. And it's not like I need to lose 400 pounds. No. I just, wanted to shape my body a little bit better.
But then you also went to a holistic specialist, correct?
Well, yes.
Whole body. Mm-hmm.
So after I got, some run around with regular practicing physicians, I went to a functional medicine doctor, which was a really good experience because it was somebody who would finally listen to what I was saying about my body and would really help me investigate what foods can I eat, can I not eat, and what is the root cause of some of that and how can I treat it. And that was successful. And I went on a kind of journey of all kinds of supplements and all kinds of, exploration of this imbalance, aka leaky gut, mm-hmm. which basically means the wall of your intestine is not strong enough. And so things get through it, things come into it, and it causes you all this distress. It causes you autoimmune problems, mm-hmm. all the things that had been like creeping up on me. So I did that. And then as Shawn knows, so all these things were kind of overlapping over the past few years. I started a process. My work offered us a program that was really awesome. It included a really well-structured plan of intermittent fasting and carb cycling. And so I got some of the gut stuff taken care of. I did intermittent fasting and carb cycling and learned the way to do it properly from a registered dietitian who offered a ton of support, called the Lean Program with Amanda Nybert. Look it up. It's amazing. And so I was finally had figured it out. Like I figured out, yes, my gut is leaking. Like sounds funny, but it's leaking, and not in the gross way, but it's leaky. Right. And I know how to now best manage my macronutrients, carbs, protein, fat. And I've always known how to exercise my body in a way that feels good and really challenges me. So now I kind of can put it all together.
So now you put it together, and we're going somewhere with this. And there's two ways people could go from there. Most people would take that success, keep it to themselves, say, haha, look at me, and walk on. For those of you in the audience unaware of who my wife is and how she acts, she's Mother Teresa with a nursing license. So, of course, that's not going to happen. And she has now proceeded to create this group on Facebook, and I feel like it's going to bust out beyond, called, I'm going to give it to you. Take it away.
Real Mom Wellness.
Real Mom Wellness. Check out the group. I think it's currently, I was going to say, it's by invite only on Facebook. But you can, check her out.
Well, okay,
Instagram.
But wait.
Okay.
The group is not about me, okay? You're making this sound like this is like a group about me.
But you started it. You started it. That's where I'm going with that.
I appreciate the credit you're giving me, honey. But here's the thing. Here, you need to say a little bit more about that. Can I please say more about that?
That's why you're on.
Okay. So I was doing all kinds of new, I always look at recipes for fun, just like I look at houses for fun, not because I want a new house necessarily. I just like to look at them. So in looking, online at recipes and this and that, and recipes that are really focused on avoiding certain inflammatory foods, I started realizing that there's kind of a theme to the, generally it's women putting these recipes out. And I started noticing that there was a little bit of a theme, and it started to really irritate me. That there were these moms with their beach waver hair going and their makeup on, and they're in their, kitchens, and they're me and my boys love to cook, and I make them all paleo, gluten-free chocolate chip cookies and blah, blah, blah.
Ice cube smoothies.
Yeah, and that's cool. Some of their recipes are really good, but it really started irritating me because I was yeah, this is not real. And I get it. We have a nice home and I love our kitchen and whatever, but what they portray is not always real. And I get sick of it. Guess what? For real, I just ate 3 tacos, and that's fine. I'm going to work out tomorrow.
I'm going to pull the curtain back. That shit just happened. I want you all to know that. That's not a story. we just dominated Mexican food and contemplated recording. So, like, that's kind of pulling the curtain back a little bit. Like, we were bloated and laying on the couch going, do we really want to do this? All right, yeah. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
I just get I get tired of this, like, kind of weird facade that isn't just about, recipes or recipe sites on Pinterest, but just in general, this idea that people have to, like, throw a filter on their pictures and they have to be, like, looking all whatever. Like, I like to look a certain way. I like our home to look a certain way, but the idea that moms feel like they have to live up to this is bullshit. And so I just was like, and so what happened was I started sharing some of my ideas on the site for my Works wellness effort with the lean program, and some of the women on there were like, hey, you should share this or whatever. So then I was like, you know what, let me make a video about some of these products that I'm using. And then it just kind of transpired to be like, yeah, I feel like I should talk about these things in a way that's practical for real moms, and not like, I only use nut milk and since 1999. Like, no, I use nut milk on most days, and some days I like that crap-filled Coffee Mate every once in a while as like a special little grown-up treat. But most days I use nut milk. Yes, I do, and it's better for my gut. So, like, that's the thing. I love the idea of moms having a place to keep it real, and that's why I wanted to start Real Mom Wellness, so that moms have a place where they can come together in a virtual community and be real with each other, ask real questions, share their real problems, and just, like, help each other out with ideas about how to feel your best.
Yeah, so mission statement. Talk to me about what that is. I mean, you said a lot that Real Mom Wellness as an entity does, but, like, what's at its very core? What are you seeking to do?
Well, at its very core, what am I seeking to do? At its very core...
By repeating the question, she's buying herself time.
I am. What I'm seeking to do is create, and you know the answer to this, Shawn, because
you know the answer.
Raymond Patrick's favorite line.
That's an inside joke, kids.
Raymond Patrick, whenever he's bad or whenever you ask him a question, he looks at you and he, in his sly little special self, says, "That's right, Mommy. You know the answer." So my goal with Real Mom Wellness is really to have a community to share ideas with others and promote wellness to enjoy life, which sounds really like Pollyanna rose-colored glasses. But I want it to be a safe community, primarily for moms or people identify in the she, her, hers category and have offspring and can relate to the maternal instinct to want to care for others and yet care for yourself in a really powerful way. And I feel like I'm finally, like, coming into my own with that, and, like, month by month I'm adding pieces onto my own journey of it. And so, like, just now recently I started exploring these new products that can help me stay on this gut health journey. Because what I learned was that, yes, I'm fixing it and I fixed it and I know what to avoid, and yet to keep it intact is really tough in a sustainable way. So now I'm exploring that and trying to figure out how that works for me. So and that's Plexus. That's a product line that really seems to offer a simplistic approach to maintaining gut health. So, but all of that is just kind of like extra to what the point of Real Mom Wellness is. Real Mom Wellness doesn't have to do specifically with gut health. It has to do with the idea that moms need a place to go.
Yeah. And, part of the reason why I hooked this in and associate it with COVID is that, like, more now than ever, I think it's very easy to just get wrapped up. I forget what the scientific term is, but the constant state of stress causes us to forget self-maintenance as being an important thing, like, not just a necessary thing, but incredibly important. And so it's groups like that and it's messages like yours that are really going to help people, moms especially, stay in tune with that.
Well, it's so interesting you say that, because what I realized very quickly in March was that when the world like shut down all of a sudden, and you know, Shawn, and many of my friends know, like I've always been someone who enjoys exercise, and I like to go to the gym and do these things. And whether or not I've always had the maximum impact because of all these other health factors, I've always genuinely enjoyed it, and really tried to stick with an exercise routine. And when COVID happened, I realized, like, wow, I no longer can, even though as much as I enjoyed it, we all make an excuse about when we can go, when we can't go, how can we work out, whatever. And I've always been someone who's been okay with working out at home. I have an at-home routine, but I found that what I was doing, because when COVID happened, I was like, okay, I got to work out at home. That's all there is to it. And my at-home workouts were probably always like a little bit less, or like not as intense. And when COVID happened, I was like, well, I can't make an excuse about why I can't get to the gym. There is no gym. And I don't have to take kids anywhere. And I'm certainly not traveling for work. So out with the excuses, Greta, and like get your ass and self together here. And you have to make this at-home workout like the best it can possibly be. And I started realizing like the successful feeling of challenging myself with nothing but like me and the floor and nothing but me and the exercise ball was like so fulfilling. Like we don't have an at-home gym. I have like a couple of weights and like my sneakers. And so that also became part of Real Mom Wellness. Like, listen, I wear my sneakers in the house so that it motivates me to walk around. Do I try to get a lot of steps? Yeah, but I carve out a little time. I use a planner. Like, I'm strategic about it. And so that sharing of those wellness efforts, the sharing of my meal plan efforts, the sharing of the gut health journey. You know, I've had women reach out to me and be like, how did you work on fixing your gut? Well, it was really tough. And so that's why I want to make it easier for people, and I want to give them a community to connect about exercise, gut health, what natural deodorant they're using, like how do you better discipline your kids without pulling your own hair out,
how much water you should drink in a day.
Yes, that's a big one.
See, I got you. I understand. I'm following. No, and you know, to be fair, and I go on and on about how much you inspire me quite a bit on here, but I mean, in light of COVID, and we're very open about mental health and everything in our home, you know, I identified for me, like I was struggling a little bit, and I can say now, and I think I told you, but if not, here you go. You know, watching you be on that regimen, be on your game, made me stay on my game. And so, you know, for guys maybe who, you know, I don't know if you tuned out or not, I don't really give a shit either way, but if you're still listening, and you're like, well, what does this have to do with me? It's going to have everything to do with you, because that mirror, that partnership, like, honestly, when you started this journey, it really kind of inspired me to stay on my game. So I thank you for that.
Thank you. Because my journey is, my journey to have, you know, decent food to eat at intervals that make sense to me is largely supported by you. And that's the thing is I have tried to convey in Real Mom Wellness, like, if you're your own support structure, then be it. And if you have a support structure, then make it work.
But lean on it like, if you need to.
Stop with the excuses. Like, guess what? We work out a schedule for each other so that we have time to go to the gym, so that we have time to meal plan, so that we have time to do the work we need to do. Like, so, like, you know, this is all about your choices and your time, and I want real moms to have the inspiration and the place to share about it.
You think I should use a picture of the chalkboard wall for the episode?
No, because that just makes me look neurotic.
Well, us. Thank you. Us. So that's, I mean, just a really cool concept. Talk to me real quick about where they can find you and Real Mom Wellness. And we're not done. I'm just kind of turning the corner here real quick, but I want to make sure we get plugs in throughout Real Mom Wellness. They can find you as Greta Rosler on Instagram, correct? And that's a lot of your Real Mom Wellness stuff there?
Yeah, I'm pretty social media defunct, so I don't really know. My Instagram is Real Mom Wellness. I guess you look up Greta Rosler and it comes up Real Mom Wellness.
You can look it up
there.
Yeah.
But I don't have like a tremendously active presence on Instagram, and I'm a little bit more, I frequent Facebook a little bit more. Okay. Real Mom Wellness doesn't have a presence on Facebook except for on my personal page, because Real Mom Wellness is a private group. So anyone that's a mom or identifies in such a role, a maternal role. There are some people who have said to me, can I join even if, I just take care of my nieces a lot, or if I take care of my, whatever. And so sure, like whatever, that's cool. If you're into wellness and like you get what it means to take care of somebody else, then cool, join. So just look up Real Mom Wellness. And until I have my kind of mecca long-range plan of like a virtual wellness center that has like a whole bunch of resources for people, which I don't have yet. It's kind of like my 2025 plan or something maybe. Until then, you can just find me on social media being like crazy. Yeah,
and just reach out and, either they request to join the group, private group wise?
Yeah, they have to request, I think. And that's just to, some of the moms talk about some pretty, sensitive stuff. So that's why we have it private. So because we want it to be a safe place, but it is a welcoming place. It's a diverse place. It's not just for these cookie cutter Pinterest-esque moms, because basically that's the opposite of people that I want in there.
Exactly. All right. You want to play with some afters real quick, just to keep it kind of to the show standard?
Okay.
All right. So, again, Real Mom Wellness, folks, and we'll plug more at the end of the show. We're going to shift into afters, what would typically be afters. It's a little bit more varied episode, if you will, but we'll sink into the afters, of course, just to see how the answers line up. Standing in your kitchen, you pick either grilling outside or in the kitchen inside. What music am I listening to?
Are you listening to or am I listening to?
You. And I know this, and yes, we're listening to your choice.
Oh boy, that's such a hard question. Well, if you know it, answer it for me, because I don't know.
Well, that depends. Are we compromising, or is it just full bore you?
Okay, well, you know what I like to play a lot of. I like to play a lot of Lake Street Dive.
Amazing.
One of my all-time favorite bands. I just love their music. I like to play a lot of John Mayer. Sorry, Shawn.
Boo.
I love to play like some Bruce Springsteen, Steely Dan, things like that. What else?
How about outside? There's an outside mix too. You change a little bit.
Well, it depends. Like when we're outside, I have several like playlists specifically for like outside relaxing time.
She has them sorted alphabetically by genre.
I do. I like a little bit of country outside. I do love a little bit of like when we're kind of like being fancy pants. I love some B.G. Adair.
B.G. Adair for the win. Yes.
Outside. Yeah, if you haven't heard B.G. Adair, look her up. It's pretty amazing.
Amazing. All right. So that's plenty for the music. Let's go three ingredients deserted island. You know the question, listeners. You know the question, and wifey, you know the question. Go for it.
3 ingredients that I'd have to take on a deserted island.
Yep.
Oh,
unlimited supply. Through the magic of imagination, but only 3. What would they be and why?
Butter.
Nice. Strong.
Salt.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Can I tell you later?
Oh my God. I'm surprised she hasn't asked me to pick it for her.
Yeah, tell me.
I think it would be pork.
No. No.
See, I knew I would get a response out of you somehow.
No, see, here's the thing. If I'm on an island, I can catch my own protein, I think.
I've seen you fish. Ain't no way. You're going to be the best vegetarian ever.
If I were going to, like, cook up some, like, yucca root or something.
Yucca root. Let's move on to the next question, shall we?
Some protein, like I could brown some butter, throw it on there, and brown butter would make anything taste good. So
you heard it here, brown butter yucca root for the win. Just to wrap things up here, food to you in a single word, dear.
Gosh, these questions are so hard. I feel really bad for your
You know what they are, though.
I know, but I just like I transpose myself out of it. I guess is that the right way to say it? Food in a single word is joy.
I like it.
I get a lot of joy out of food, which is like the opposite of what psychologists tell you should get, but I do.
There's joy to be had in it, and there's joy to sit around a table and enjoy it. You know, there's no, joy works. So, thank you, honey.
Thank you, honey.
I don't get to say that, but every 5 years. No, there's been a couple guests, Gary. So, for those who nodded off, blacked out, whatever, Real Mom Wellness again, give me the elevator pitch.
A community for moms to share and figure out their wellness journey to live their best lives.
Love it. Love it. Check it out on Facebook. Be sure to look up Greta Rosler on Facebook, Real Mom Wellness on Facebook, and both of those very same on Instagram. Ever-emerging presence, some great YouTube videos, by the way, some phenomenally produced videos. I don't know who did them, but damn, they look good.
They are good videos, and they're videos with just like little tips and like Real Mom Wellness stuff. Like
Real Mom Wellness. Hashtag Real Mom Wellness. All right, well, honey, thank you so much for once again being a part of this passion project of mine.
Thank you, honey. Thank you for having me on. This
Absolutely.
is an honor, considering some of the guests you've had on, and here I am talking about like my site where I talk about my planner. Like, whoa.
From Stephen Reichland to leaky gut and everything in between. Jesus Christ.
Right.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been episode number 139 of the Coarse Grind Podcast. With me this evening, my partner, my spouse, my wife, my culinary cohort, the Mrs. Greta Rosler. Our producer, as always, this evening has been the Reverend Johnny Lamoria, a.k.a. Johnny Leland Robinson. Be sure to check out all his libertarian cinematic pig's feet happening in the 18431. Next episode will be the 140. We're going to take it back to something green. Stay tuned. Are you passing through central Pennsylvania and looking for one of the best dining experiences and craft brew menus around? Look no further. Turkey Hill Brewing Company and 991 Central Road in Bloomsburg, PA has everything you could ask for and then some. Service, food, beer together. Unbelievable. Be sure to check them out. Call them today for reservations. 570-387-8422. Call today.